everybody, it's your girl Barbie J here, and I am back with a recap and review for Tyler Perry's comedy drama Sisters, Season 6, Episode 13, Truth Is. So, this episode was better, I think, than last week. It was more interesting and entertaining, I would have to say. And it starts with Sabrina, in bio, and him letting her know that in his country, that giving all of that money, millions, is a legal contract. And Sabrina keeps saying she's not marrying him and that this must be a joke. And he asks her, didn't she read the agreement? And she's like, please stop playing with me. And he's saying, I'm not playing. And he wants to know if this is going to be a problem. And she's like, yes. And he's like, she tells him several times that she doesn't know him like that, and that is why she will not marry him. And he said when this is over, he expects her to come back with him to Invictus. Come back to Invictus with him, and they will be married. And he tells her that his 9 other wives didn't know him either. They were gifts from their families. Then he tells her that he will have her bail money revoked, and she will go back to jail if she doesn't marry him. And I'm thinking to myself, hold up, wait a minute here. He didn't provide no bail money for Sabrina. He did it for Maurice. So that's who will go back to jail, But Sabrina was saying that she has to go to her friend's house. And he told her, no, don't you want to stay and talk? And she was like, no, I have to go. And he told her to enjoy her freedom now because after this, that will all go away. And he said, his mother was going to kill the fattest goat for her. And I started laughing. I was like, oh my Lord. So he pretends to call his mother and tells her not to kill the goat because she said no to the marriage. Then he hangs up and tells Sabrina that his mother says she's a selfish and evil woman. And Sabrina said, well, I'm not neither one of those, so I don't care. And I was like, all right now, Sabrina, let him know. So she has he tells her she has nice childbearing hips and that that he needs to have 55 children to beat his brother so they could populate their country. I said, oh my God. Then Bio tells Sabrina that it is so horrible. He admitted, after this, because he was like, he wanted her to sit down and talk. She kept saying, no, she has to go. But he says, horrible the way that Americans think of Africans. He tells the truth about there being no contract, and that wasn't his mother on the phone. He doesn't want to marry her, and he doesn't have several wives. And just because he doesn't like her friend, it doesn't mean that he's closed or narrow-minded. He doesn't like Maurice for several reasons. I was like, well, honey, I will have to agree with Bio with those last 2 or 3 points. Like, just because he doesn't like her friend means he's either closed or narrow-minded. I felt that same way too. And some parts about how did people see Africans. He's right about that. So anything, but he said that he doesn't like Maurice for several reasons, and I was sitting there going, yeah, I could have pointed out a bunch of reasons too. That's why I don't understand what Sabrina is seeing, because Bio is right. He doesn't like him because he just don't like him. So anyway, he told her to make sure that they both show up in court so that he can get his money back. And I was like, well, so what kind of game was you trying to run or play here, Bio, with her? What was all of that about? It makes no sense. It's not cool, but maybe he just got insulted when she called him narrow-minded and he just decided to go there with it. And I don't blame him because I didn't like that she called him that just because how he felt. So anyway, he left saying, enjoy your night. And Sabrina sat on her couch and said, damn, I think I just got read. I said, you sure did, girl. He should have read you a little bit more because you're ridiculous sometimes. So anyway, the ladies show up to Karen's house and Andy's in the hallway waiting for them all to come so that they can go in as a unit. And Danny tells her, I think you just out here scared. So when Sabrina finally shows up, Andy tells them how Karen acted and what Aaron told her. And at that moment, Karen opened the door and asked, were they coming in, because she could hear them talking in the hallway about her. So they ask how she's doing and if she'd like to talk, and she tells them no, she has a doctor's appointment and the doctor will explain what's going on with her hormones and the baby. And Danny's like, oh, okay. Of course, she the first one to speak up. So we gonna blame it on the baby, huh? Sit on there. Here we go. Come on, Danny, do you? So Karen reminds them of how Zach came at her at the salon, and they all said yes, they saw it, but it's because he thought she had died. So Danny is telling her that she's like, Zach is up there playing me and stuff. And and all of them are saying, looking at each other like, he not playing you. And Danny finally spoke up again and said, he's not playing you, And Karen is saying, yes, he did. And Fatima said, no, Fatima, oh Lord, I meant Danny. She said, no, he didn't. And of course, Sabrina's trying to get Danny not to say anything or go there. And Danny tells them, don't invite me to the party if you don't want the straightforward Danny. And so Karen tells her, go ahead, Danny, say what you got to say. And Danny tells Karen that you know Zach better than any of us. And then she breaks it down to explain that Zach does love her, but it's different now. And he gave you that money for the salon. And Karen said, he gave me that money because he knows this child is his. And they all just look at each other like dumbfounded. I was like, oh my God. And Danny said, is it though? So Karen says, yes, you can ask Andy. She saw the paperwork. So then Andy tells her what Aaron said. And Karen's like, who told him that? And then she explains that she had Aaron's DNA. It didn't match, so it has to be Zach's. And Danny said, wow, I didn't realize they can do all of that with a fetus, Danny, the miracle of science. She started with that, So then Andy builds up the courage to ask Karen if she had been intimate with someone else during that time, even though Sabrina was shaking her head like not to do it. And Danny was saying, I can't save you. I can't save you. And so Karen said, who do you think I am? It was only the two of them, So Danny tells them that Andy is on a dating app. She changes the subject, of course, after all of that. And, Andy felt bad and apologized. She said she was just asking. So then Danny tells them that Andy's on a dating app. And of course, because she's on there as well, that's how she knows. Under an assumed name, of course. She had the Spanish name Rosa Cantales Conchiles Catales. Danny's so crazy. So Andy said that was tired of Gary and decided to try it out. And she said he didn't want her to do it. And that was making her want to do it more. And she said, matter of fact, she has a date tonight and was going home to change. So Sabrina tells her to be careful. And she said Gary told her the same thing. So Danny referenced Jonah, like, be careful, stating folks are crazy out there. So then Andy tells them that she should be okay. It's a bar on Juniper Street. So of course Danny's head went bing, 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 bing. So Danny said, maybe she should go with her. And Karen looked at her and said, you go there because you have something else going on for what you want to do, right? And then Danny confessed that she was kind of curious about going, but that she and Preston are officially dating now, and the ladies are like, oh wow, really? And she lets them know that he tried some of her weed, and so but she did say that there's some guy at her job. She did say some guy at her job, had invited her. So, but she didn't want to go because of Preston, which was nice. She's being thoughtful. So then Karen says she's going to call Aaron and tell him that he's not the father. And they asked her, was she calm and everything? And she said yes. And Danny said, yeah, you kind of a scary calm right now. And Karen told her, just shut up. So then Andy said that she didn't want to leave until Karen gave her a formal apology to her. She said, I don't know about the rest of you ladies, but that's what I'm waiting for. So Karen said, she said she apologized. She said it real fast, and Andy asked her to slow it down because she didn't really get the full effect of it. Can you say it again? And then Danny jumped in and said she wanted to one as well. And Karen said, okay, fine. I apologize to all you biatches. And she said, there you go, throwing out the B word, the bitches and stuff. And they all leave and stuff. And so everything is kumbaya with them again. And then Karen calls Aaron and asks him to come over, and he says, okay. But now we have Q showing up late to meet with Logan. I like this part, y'all. I like this. And that DA, and Q is still playing it off as if he was really hurt. Logan is pissed at the tardiness. So they go into a room where the DA is waiting with his arms crossed. He asks Q if he remembers him, and he says, yes, you're the one who gave me that deal. And the DA tells him that the deal is off, and Q says, why? And the DA tells him, because he's a damn liar. The DA says what he hates more than that, because he told him that Maurice, if it hadn't been for Maurice to come in here and try to confess to it, he wouldn't even thought about it. But he realized that Maurice was just trying to cover for Sabrina and that neither one of them did it, and that, that Q is responsible for it. And the DA says that one thing he hates more than a liar is a liar who lies on innocent people. He told him that his other co-conspirators told him that it was just them and Q. And he told Q he's going to jail and that he was going to drop the charges on Sabrina and Maurice. And Q is still trying to convince him that they did it. He has the tape and all of that stuff. He told me he did it and all that. He's like, really? And then the DA told Q that he was a piece of ish and let him know that, I said, damn, that he let him know that his partner's got a deal. And Q was saying, but I signed that deal first. And the DA said, well, you're going to jail and you're going to be in there for a long time. And he told Logan to get Q out of his damn face. And he told Logan that he owes them, talking about Sabrina and Maurice, an apology. And Logan said, I was just doing my job. And he said, no, you were just over eager and you were slipping and stuff. He said, you never been over eager? He said, yeah, but I don't slip. You slipped. And he added that you're doing your job, because Logan still kept saying, I was doing my job. He added that your job is to protect and serve. The DA told Logan that he did him a favor. And Logan's like, how's that? And the DA explains, then tells him how he used to do so much good when he was protecting those children being trafficked. So protect these two innocent people. Leave Mr. Webb and Miss Hollis alone. And then Logan walked away pissed. I said, damn. He said, you'd have had two innocent people in jail. You wouldn't have felt bad about that? He said, you so busy trying to get promoted? He was like reading Logan. I said, damn, go ahead, white boy. So now we have Zach and Fatima in the car driving to see little Michael. And she told Zach to just stay calm. And he's like, what? You telling me to stay calm? Miss, go in your pocketbook and shoot everybody up. Ping, pong, bang. I was laughing. He said, so Fatima tells Zach that Hayden, she was feeling bad because Hayden married that girl that he set her up with. And that she hooked him, that she hooked him up with. And they only knew each other for 2 weeks. And Fatima was feeling bad about it. Zach told her, stop feeling bad about it. He said, man up. Man up, you better. He said, if anybody deserve anything is that bad to happen to is Hayden. He deserved whatever he gets, So they were driving and they was talking about what's going to happen if they get there and there's something going on. But anyway, now we have the ladies entering Billy Jake's. That's the place on Juniper. And I got to tell y'all that this set looks just like the restaurant where Zach and Aaron had that fight. Look at it, y'all. It looked just like it. It also looks like the place where Danny went for a drink after her sister's intervention. And she got mad and went out for a drink. And they saw Preston there with that other female that he wanted to marry. Yeah, Wendy or Lucy or whatever her name is. I don't care. Carrie. Anyway, I'm really feeling... I got to tell y'all, I am not feeling those shoulder puffs on Andy's dress. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's a style or what, but it looked cuckoo crazy to me. I'm sorry. So, and she looked like she was overdressed for that type of place. So Andy meets her blind date and they sit down and he offers her a drink and she turns him down, stating that she's driving. So they seem to hit it off a little bit, and Sabrina and Danny are at the bar, and Tony comes over and says, oh, Danny, I see you made it. And Danny told him she did not come here for him. And I was like, damn, Danny. She was like so blunt and serious. So she tells him why she's there and introduces him to Sabrina. And he says, I feel as if I already know you. And Sabrina's like, how? And Danny tells, that he listens to my phone calls. And he says it's because she talks so loud. And Sabrina said, I hear you about that. So then he offers to buy them a drink, and Danny tries to play it off as if she doesn't drink. And he told her, girl, I know you drink. And he asked Sabrina what she wants. And then he ordered Danny's drink without her even saying it. And Sabrina was like, how did he get that? And Sabrina, Danny just shook her head and she said, you know what? You're going to have to tell me about all of this later. That's Sabrina saying it to Danny. And I started laughing because that is a story. And then Sabrina needs to tell about what Bio said to her. Anyway, so Tony asks, where's his friend? Where's this friend that she's claiming that she's there for? And when Danny points out Andy, he says, oh, she's in good hands because that's my boy Jordan. He didn't want to come, but he made him. I made him come. He said he had a first date and it was a disaster. So him and his boy Rich had to physically go and get Jordan to go on this date. Then Rich walks up and Tony introduces him to the ladies. And guess who plays Rich? Guess who plays the character Rich? It's Bill from Tyler Perry's Bruh. Bill is playing the character Rich on here. So I'm like, okay, all right now. I guess I haven't seen Bruh in a long time. I don't even know if it's still on. Is it still on? Somebody put that down in the comment section and let me know. Because I was wondering about that show. So Bill and Tony tell the ladies how Jordan used to play pro basketball and he used to play football, and then he got married and it took all of the energy out of him. And they said, they're part of the divorce club or something like that. And I think that's when Sabrina asked to see their hands to see if there's any rings or I guess ring marks or something or whatever. So they said they're just out here living. They don't get down like that anymore. They grown. And Rich and Tony asked them if they wanted to go somewhere else a little more quiet, and they told them that they are here with their friend to make sure she'll be okay, and they were not leaving. So the gentleman decided to get a table where the ladies can keep an eye on their friend, because even Rich was like, oh no, they would Jordan, they in good hands. They said, oh, like we supposed to believe just because of that. So. But anyway, so now we have Aaron showing up to Karen's apartment. She has him sit down at the table so they can talk. She thanks him for all his help, I guess, with her salon. He lets her know that he can give her the money to finish up her salon since she didn't take it from Zach. And she tells him she doesn't need the money and that she can get it. He said, you just don't want it from me. And she admits it. That's what it is, Then she says she don't want any more of them. And I guess she means she and him. And she says she's decided that she wants to be single for a while. And he asked if she was serious this time. And she said, yes, it's just going to be her and the baby. And Aaron tells her that, he's going to have to be around to, take care of her and the baby. And she tells him that he is not the father. And he insists that he is because he saw the results. And she wants to know how. But he doesn't say. So she pulls out the piece of paper to show him and says he needs to tell whomever that he got that information from that they're wrong. So Aaron read it and shows that his DNA is 99%. He said, see, 99%. She said, keep reading. He said, not a match. And Aaron's smile turned into a frown. Oh, poor Aaron. And he said, ish, man. And he said when he saw the 99%, he thought it was his. He guessed that he wanted the child to be his so bad that he blocked the rest of it out. So she asked, why did he want that? And he said, because he loves her and that he wants to spend the rest of his life with her. And Karen said, well, sorry, but this is not your baby, it's Zach's. So Aaron then says, you've been saying it a long time. I guess you got what you wanted. And she says, we can't get off this train now. And Aaron tells her that he doesn't want to get off the train because he loves her too much. She tells him that too much? She tells him that she loves him too, right? But all of her tension now and energy needs to be for the baby. And he reminds her of the promise that he made to her that even if the baby wasn't his, he would be there for her. And Karen is not interested in all of that no more. So he wants to stay in touch, and I'm laughing at him. I'm like, fool, you sound so desperate. He wants to stay in touch with her. And I'm like, she's like, not in this way, baby, not in this way. That's when she's ready. She said, when I'm ready, he can call and check on her, but she ain't ready now. But he always ignores that when she says it. So she says she got to take care of herself. So she walks to the door and tells him that, she's letting him go now, and he walks over to the door and he follows and asks if he has to do does this have to do with that girl? Remember the girl at the salon? And she said it's about all of it, and there's nothing he can do to change her heart or her mind. So he said he will do anything for her, and he hugs her, and then he tries to kiss her goodbye, and she put her head down and wouldn't even allow him to kiss her. I said, oh damn, she's serious this time. But she doesn't let him, So but he walked out of the door letting her know that he is only one phone call away. She said, yeah, whatever, right, whatever. I know she didn't say that. I'm adding that. So now we have Zach and Fatima outside of Heather's apartment. This is how it ends, y'all. And that nosy neighbor comes over and lets them know that Heather is not there and that the little boy is up there with that nigger called J Bones. And the neighbor said that he has so many, that Heather has so many men running in and out of there. He don't know if that was the one from yesterday or today or whenever. So she said, I can't keep count. I said, oh, go ahead, nosy lady. So, but you know his name. How you know his name? You know? So she said that she keeps calling child welfare. Fatima asked, what did they say? And she said, they said that they're going to have somebody come by tomorrow and go through there. And she said, good. And you'll tell her everything? And she said, yep, she would tell them everything. And then she asked, who are they to the boy? And Zach said, I'm the father. She said, I know you, but what is she? He said, she's my wife. She said, oh, and you put up with all of this? You go through all this drama? I said, oh, no, that lady didn't try to start trouble. She tried to start trouble. She said, I know I wouldn't be able to go through this. And da-da-da-da-da. And she just going on and on. And then you hear the baby scream. Ah! She said, there they go. They up there. He beating his ass. And Zach and them start running. And Zach knock on the door. Open the door. And the guy opened the door. What's up? And he said, what you want? Who are you? He said, I'm the father. He said, get your ass out of here. He told him to get out of there and stuff. And Fatima's like, Zach, come on down. Zach. And Zach is like trying to walk away. He said, yeah, listen to your babysitter. Go. So Zach walks away. The dude closed the door and little Michael screams again, ah! And Zach ran and bust open that damn door. And Whitney proceeded to beat that ass. He bust him up. He was tearing that boy up. And you just hear Fatima yelling, Zach. And it went off like that. So y'all let me know what y'all thought about this episode. I told you it was better than last week's episode. I got to tell you that much. I enjoyed this one much more. So, and before I go, for those of you who haven't subscribed to my channel, please take a moment right now, hit that subscribe button, then hit the notification bell and let you know every time I upload a new video. Then I ask that you like the video, thumbs up, give it the thumbs up, write a comment and share because sharing is caring. It's your girl Barbie J saying I'll see you in the next video. Peace.